Okay, everyone, we are actually live now. Contrary to some technical difficulties we had this morning. Pradeep, it's so good to see you, my friend.
So good to see you too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming back and thank you for making the peace from the today morning, this craziness because it's a multimedia world and one thing I think is important for us, if the things doesn't go right, don't fight it. Just very nicely, calmly, take a moment, shut up the things for a moment, take a deep breath and you will come back and things gonna be even better.
Yeah. Stronger, different than you maybe anticipated. One of my
Yeah,
favorite quotes is
yeah.
happiness, letting go of the attachment
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
outcome.
yeah, yeah. Because it's very hard for us as a human being to let go. We try to figure that out right there, but sometimes that's not the right time and right moment. You have to just, okay, let go. You
Mhm.
tried, but two ways goes, like one way you can fight about is not going to help you,
Mhm.
or you accept it, okay, this is not coming right now.
And that is the practice.
Hey, 100%. That's why we do the yoga, because to acceptance, we have to accept it. We have to adapt the way it is, adjust it, and then accommodate. Like time like this is the perfect time for being a yoga practitioner or everything we have done. I think this is the moment when we really gonna use the practice,
Mm.
because why you have done the practice, you have just done for because of the exercise, sake of exercise, or you have done the yoga because your life was so stressful. So they're just like you go to the mat and the breathing and also the physical yoga which help you to take out the stress. But that's not what we do yoga. We do yoga to make our good choices. When the time become harder and time become uncomfortable and uncertain, that's where the time and yoga really come kick up in our lives. Like right now, okay, do right, be kind to yourself, be kind to everyone, do some meditation, do some asana, sing, meditate, you know, and can be harder some days, depend on like the way you woke up in the morning with your mood.
Mhm.
That's how your practice goes. So acknowledge if
Mhm.
someday you sit down and you like try to meditate and it's not coming to you, better not to fight. Just take a moment, like take couple of like walk around,
Create
take,
space.
take deep breath, or maybe like go out and go around couple of blocks, fresh air, and then you come back, and then you come back with a different form of like your focus,
Right.
and you will
It's
sit
in that
down and then you
it's
know
in that resistance that causes persistence, and so it's like when you fight it and you're only going to be met with potentially even more resistance as opposed
yeah,
to
yeah,
taking our hands off of it,
yeah.
creating space.
The,
um,
the, the thing is like the more you fight is harder it get, you know we just can't fight. And we have to know, as your yogis, like people are, if you really yogi and you practice yoga, you have to understand it's not in our hands. We
mhm,
don't have a control button.
right.
You just how is gonna get better. First one, like there's a few points are very important, help me in my entire life. One, discipline. We have to discipline in our life, like eating right kind of food, sleeping well, creating a very loving heart, very kind and very like genuineness about us, and determination. Like if you want something, you have to be determined. Okay, I want that, and you work according to whatever you want in your life. But if you same thing you want with the love and compassion, I think is you will enjoy, and all around all everybody around you enjoy. Because I think that's why we do what we do,
Mhm.
because we want to be enjoy. We want to be end of the day look back and like, oh, I did good, the feeling. And then you can put your head on the pillow and have a good sleep. Or also whatever you're doing is benefit the entire like the universe, the nature, all the humans around you, all the like all the animals around you, all that natural beauty around you. So it should not be, once you have that kind of like once you have that kind of a bigger purpose or bigger reason to do whatever you do, Number one is always work out. And number two, you kind of live in that peace.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of time what people think or what people look for, it's a happiness. Like, like there's just something called in the, especially the Western world, the pursuit of happiness. There's nothing called pursuit of happiness. Happiness is a stage. Sometimes go up, sometimes go down. Like a kid, you give a candy, will be so happy. And you don't give a candy, will be so sad and
Mm-hmm.
crying.
Right.
But what in the end, what as a human, as a yogis always look for one thing, is called peace. So when you have create the peace within you can be anywhere. If it's more, you will be okay. If it's less, you will be okay because there's a peace within you.
Mm-hmm. It's
So that's
from
what,
within. And
yeah,
what I'm hearing you say is like when you have that peace within, and it starts with yourself and your own practice, and then being a contribution inside. Well, first in your side of your commitment, your discipline of your
yeah,
own, and then
you're
being
right.
a commitment inside of spreading that and being a stand for nature and animals and other people and our environment, such that if you work, then you can be a contribution to others, and that the world works.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like in India they say, in the end, everyone die, and when you die, you don't take anything with you. But what you leave behind, that's what matter most. Like, if someone look back and just say one good word about like that the person was a good person. I think you have done a lot to this planet because that the um, thought of the goodness will definitely change someone.
Mhm.
And if you can make the change in one person's life, I think you have done your part because that's
Exactly.
how, yeah, 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 and that's how grow, you know, because a lot of time people always wait for this thing of like, oh, someone has to do to me. I'm like, why you don't have to be the one who do for others,
Mhm.
So that's why we need the dedication.
Mhm.
Dedication is very important. So you need a discipline, you need determination, and you need dedication. Keep
Mhm.
doing something over and over again and again. And that's why we keep coming to the yoga mat. We do over and over again and again, over and over again. And there's a days, practice is so easy. It is get easier after a while, but there's a days, same thing is become challenging and harder. Depend on your thought and your mind, where what position and what thought you are going through.
Mhm.
Like, sometimes when you have sadness and grief, definitely you're not in your full form. But someday when you have rested well and then you're happy mood, wow, class become or meditation, you become like half an hour, become like 5 minutes. You're like, wow, time fly by. So
Mhm.
that's why like we need the dedication. So keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it.
I love what you're saying, because what you're speaking to is as we come to the mat, we come to the mat as we come to life in whatever state of mind it is, and it's gonna change. And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
sometimes it's got the frustration, sometimes it's got the grief and sadness, sometimes it has the joy and the peace. And the practice will change and feel different. And being with all of that, that is all there is.
yeah, yeah. And then we have to like as a human, I think we have to accept everything. Like, they all are emotions. They all are feelings. Sadness is emotion and feeling. So is a happiness. So is a grief. What does everything make easier is the time. Time is a very powerful and very tricky. Time move three ways. Time move forward when your life goes smooth like before COVID-19, everybody having happy hour, you don't know. Now, after like just for 6 months, life has harder because we're not doing what we used to be doing.
Mm.
So then you have to know where the mind is slipping. Okay, then you need patience. All right, I'm gonna do good, and things gonna be okay again.
Mm.
So this is what called the hope, and like we all have hope for something better. That's why we wake up every day and we do something. Like,
Mhm.
I will meditate. We have hope. I will meditate. I'll feel better. So we have to experience all those emotions and feelings. and they all have their part in life.
Right. Yeah, it's so true. Motivation comes from a lot of times that hope and or that desire for something. I don't want to say better, but better, different,
Yeah,
right? It's what drives us, right? If we're, it's kind of that seeking, that curiosity, what's next?
yeah,
I love this, conversation of how good are you willing to have it?
yeah, yeah, definitely. And it's working, like doing your thing most of, like, I think if you do all your most of the things or all your things on your own, I think end of the day we're gonna feel better because you wanted to earn it. You know, given is great, but you earn, find your own self, like the true nature, like who, like, in the end, it's question come like, who am I? Like, what is the purpose here? We all born and we all die, but there's a time in the middle, that's very magical. And in that time, you can do so many good things,
Mhm,
or you don't do anything. It's
mhm,
very up to,
mhm.
and we can't blame for this, or we can't take it granted this. We have to just like same way. You come to the yoga mat, whatever you're gonna do is gonna go to you. Like if I'm practicing, suppose next to you, Taylor, I can't take your practice, but I can get inspired from you. And I think that's what people should look. They should look at inspiration,
Mm,
not a competition.
mhm,
And then if they, have this healthy relationship with your own self and with the other person.
mhm.
And
But
if the like if sometimes if the practice get harder, there's always way to back off,
yeah.
you know
And I love what you're putting into too is like you're watching your thoughts, because when somebody's practicing next to you, those days when we used to practice next to people,
yeah,
if someone's in a posture, on one side I could be in my mind around competition and, oh, I wish I could do that, and look at her or him doing that,
yeah,
and on the other side of my brain to choose a thought of, oh wow, that's really amazing, how
yes,
beautiful, and be inspired by it. And so, the practice on the mat inside of the time that you're there is like you get to really be present to all the thoughts and
yeah,
what
yeah,
comes up while you're
definitely,
moving through postures.
yeah. That's why, like, when you turn that around from competition to compassion, that's compassion is coming, and the love is start coming, and that's where the inspiration grow.
Mm.
You leave the competition away, and then you're like, oh, this is great, and you try, and then one day you get there. So it's just slow and steady, like,
And
comfortable.
it goes back to the conversation initially of not fighting something, right? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
the release, the surrender into it.
yeah, yeah. Because again, the fighting is not the answer, like, and that's why the people need, like, their daily practice. Like, in Sanskrit, the word called sadhana. Sadhana means like a practice, like a daily practice. They're daily. A little bit meditation, some like physical yoga, some reading the scriptures, singing or chanting is a really nice way to, that's another path of yoga, bhakti yoga, the devotional yoga. So people can more merge into that path, because there's a like, that there are four paths of yoga: Raja Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Karma Yoga. And in all four, there's a one, everyone's kind of like the one more dominant than other ones. So you have to know which one is my path, and all three will help that path to grow more, because they all four is the purpose go to the same place. You can choose any path, but if you choose the path, you are more connected and you are more attract, and then you feel more inside. All other three get easier around that path.
Hmm.
So in the four, first we need to figure it out what work for me, because definitely like 9 to 5 doesn't work with everybody.
Right. What I'm hearing too inside of that is like clarity. So when you have the clarity of which path you identify and resonate and create from more, then the other three can conspire to fulfill that primary kind of dominant path, if you
Yeah,
will,
100%.
right?
100%. You're right.
What is the best mechanism for someone who's listening to explore which path? And we'll maybe post a link to the 4 paths after this. What would you recommend?
I recommend, like, there's a lot of people are very, they are like very, they love the like physical yoga,
Yeah.
like they come under the tree of Raja Yoga. So if they are more physical, they love asana, they love like more kind of like, they're more direct to they find the discipline in their day-to-day life through doing the lot of physical yoga. That's great. For them, the next is to bhakti yoga, the devotional yoga. So what the devotional yoga will do, they bring the joy in their practices. And once you bring the joy in your practice, number one, there's a less competition because the joyful. Number two, also when you have devotion with some whatever you do in that, there is more love involved there, and there is a more compassion. So you stop competing and you start like doing the same thing for the better. Like when you do the physical yoga, you take a moment and you set your intentions. Maybe you dedicate your practice to someone you love in your life. Maybe that's your parents, maybe that's your kids, maybe that's your friend, maybe that's your wife, or maybe that's your cat, or maybe that's your dog. Like, because all the beings are the beings. I'm not talking about the humans. I'm talking about the being. Every being has life. So that's how that. So they still keep their Raja Yoga, but that what the devotional yoga will do, make the richer experience, and they can have a better meditation, because that's the whole purpose to doing yoga practices, any practice. So have this, at the end of the day, you sit down, close your eyes, and you have this inward journey, and then you like.
And I know you identify more with the bhakti yogi, right? The
Yeah,
love and devotion.
yeah.
And obviously I've known you, I didn't even realize, since 2011. So we're talking 9 years, and I've been following you and taking classes from you. And you also are super rigorous inside of the physical practice. I mean, 2 days with you, even your hour and a half to 2 hours on the weekends that will occur this Saturday. We'll talk about that in the end. It's a very simple practice always, and yet deep, right? Like you just go deep, and it's challenging and yet playful. And I really experienced that that bhakti come through inside of you're just such a love, right? It's a real joy to take your class, which is again why I love having you share with us and be someone that I get to learn from and be a teacher to me. And even when, like, in the middle of a class, right, we'll be going along and you love playing the Eminem song, Never Let It Go.
Yeah, 8 Mile. Yeah, yeah, because that playfulness, the bhakti, the playfulness, you have to have playfulness in anything you do. If you become too serious about anything, it's get boring after a while. You stop enjoying life.
The thing about that is that you love us through core exercises, and
Oh,
it's a playfulness, and it just exudes in the way that you practice. So the physical as well as the love, and then it just is something that's visceral, Pradeep, that you bring to life inside of your practice of the paths, which is really profound.
thank you. But like one of the things I always believe, because physical yoga is such a transformal, but you can do the same work, same practice, with the joy and with the love and with the kindness and with the compassion and playfulness. You're going to get the same. Even you can go more. I always believe you can go more further when you have playfulness, like in anything. If you compete, you're going to hurt yourself. But if you have playfulness and you get inspired from all the beings around you, I think we go more further even without knowing.
And to that point too, like that song, like one of the last few times that I heard it, and I went back and actually listened to the lyrics, and I was really listening to it because it also is inside of the conviction of the commitment and the discipline and the dedication when you listen to that too. So weaving all of that together, it just it creates a real powerful effect,
Yeah,
um, and thoughtfulness inside of the approach.
yeah. Like it is a very, and if you, like as you said, like if you listen that song, like I have listened the song many times, and every time I listen, there is a word are very, very powerful. And because that guy like Eminem's entire life behind that song, like how much he has struggled, like it's the way he came, the way he has become. It's such an inspirational journey. Like everyone struggles. Like he's not there because he's like just like he has worked hard for that. So when you take somebody's like journey and you really appreciate that, I think you learn so much from that, and you start appreciating anybody as is going and try to make it in their lives forward. So you create this love and compassion, and also you learn from them. And I think that's where the bhakti yoga come into the physical yoga, like my part. Mine is the bhakti yoga, the devotional yoga, and that help me all other three aspects, you know.
Yeah. You look for the beauty, you look for the gift into people, right? With a
Yeah,
sense of curiosity or any situation even, right? I mean, that's all there is to do with a context and a lens through life that anyone actually wants to live,
yeah.
right? A chosen way.
Definitely. Like the thing is, like look, me and you, we know now 9 years. We met in 2011, and we know 9 years in 2020 now. And I think I go my way and you go your way. There's a time we don't, like 6 month or 8 month or 9 month. There's no communication, but we never get separated from each other because the love and the respect and the joy between us is so mutual. So whenever we think about each other or we send a message and we talk, is that we just start where we left.
Mhm.
And that's how should be the relationship with the yoga with the people. You don't want anything from yoga. You want to enjoy that. Like I enjoy my friendship with you. Like you are very dear to me and I enjoy it every time. Whenever I think about you, I have a smile on my face. This is, you want to create this experience with yourself, with your friend, and with your practice. So whenever you're like, oh, I want to do yoga, you have to feel this joyful inside you, not like, oh, I have to do yoga. No, you don't have to. You don't have to do it. But if you do something, bring the playfulness and joy, and then you see the flower will then you see like your growth.
Yep.
So I think for me, the bhakti yoga help, like for me, it's help. My relationship with me, my relationship with you, my relationship with yoga, my relationship with divine has everything. So that's why I was saying, like, we need to figure it out which one is my path.
Mhm.
Can't be four, can't be all four.
Mhm.
You know, if one speak to you very well, and then they all three will help that. Like think about when you grow a tree, you need everything. You need water, you need grooming, you need fertilizer, and you need the pruning, so everything you need the light, the sunlight for the sun. Like you can't grow the tree in the shade. You need, so and you need the air for that. You need everything for to grow a tree. The same thing, you need all four paths to even grow your one path what you are more close to, like more feel to you.
That's beautiful. So
Oh,
it's like, yeah, your crafted path and your unique way and navigating that for yourself,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So then to be a contribution of others. So, okay. We'll wrap this up today. Pradeep, I just love you to pieces. So we'll end
Thank
with
you.
there.
I love you too, Taylor.
And I mean, like so much. And I'm really excited. One, please tell everyone there's two buckets. One is you can join his Zoom classes on an ongoing basis. And then two, for those of you that are listening who are already 200-hour teachers, he's also offering a special program. So Pradeep, please tell us about both and how people can find you.
Yeah, you can find me. I have a website. The website is my first name, Pradeep, pradeepyoga.com. And I also teach the Zoom classes on Saturday, 10 o'clock Sunday, 9 o'clock in the morning is a Pacific time, California time. And then I teach Tuesday 10 a.m. and Tuesday 6 p.m. So you can join that. They all are donation based. You can pay whatever you want. And then also I'm doing this yoga mentorship program. The people has 200-hour teacher training course, or they want to be deeper in their practice, or people want to be, you want to become a yoga instructor. So the program is the 6-month program, 8 Zoom calls, goes with your all answers and questions about 4 paths of yoga, 8 steps of yoga, about Bhagavad Gita and Yoga Sutras, like they're all, so many of that. So you can reach me, you can email me, pradeepyoga@gmail.com, or email through my website. So whatever is easy. I'll be happy to have you and see you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Love you to pieces. So I'm going to be joining in that 8-month course. We were actually just talking about it today. I attend his classes on a regular basis. I won't be able to attend this weekend because I'm in a transformational learning course, unfortunately. However, fortunately for that. And I'll be joining you soon because I just love practicing with you. Thank you for you.
Thank you, Taylor. Thank you.
Thank you for being who you are for all of us.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay. Mwah. I love you to pieces. Thank you for your contribution, Pradeep.
Thank you, Taylor.